So sorry, but I'm not taking off my glass.
Lockyer takes a shot. It's low. He's got it. I think he's got it.
Merlin, are you going to speak?
But for me, it was a winner. David.
Well, I'm afraid it wasn't for me, Margaret.
Thank God you're here. Grandma's been raped.
On. Okay, welcome back to On the Air Tonight, the only podcast that is a pure and utter celebration of the oldest, finest art form that I've seen going around, free-to-air television.
The best and only, apart from Gogglebox.
How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm very good. Episode 40.
Episode 40.
We brought
four
up...
score.
Brought up... No, it's 2 score.
Oh, it's score 20.
Scores... Come on, mate.
Shit.
Come on.
They do my Abe Lincoln speech history class.
Yes. But we're back for another week.
Yeah, a few... Last week went off without a hitch.
Yeah.
we were a bit nervous about how it was going to play as far as an episode goes.
You sang my praises for a long time, just like, oh, I'm so happy that you gave me so much patience of talking 45 minutes about my real estate and 20 minutes trying to backpedal on my CK opinion.
Yeah, well, I rarely listen back to episodes, but I listened back to this one because I wasn't sure again how it played.
How much of a sook you'd sound like.
Yeah, and it just gave me, I'd messaged Jacob and I was like, I've never been more appreciative for the man sitting next to me in the chair because he just, like, if you tell a story that long, I'm not attentive the whole way through.
Yeah.
And it's because I'm selfish and I need to talk about myself more, but quite happy to sit there and go, yeah, then how much did he fleece you for? Then what happened?
Well, I appreciate you saying that, man, and I appreciate the fact that I've been able to learn how to fall asleep with my eyes open.
Yeah.
That came in real handy last week.
It's convincing. You convinced me.
Even when the point when you were asking questions.
You pulled out the Sharpie, drew it on the eyelids, and it's a convincing Sharpie.
My snoring's gotten real articulate to the point it sounds like I'm asking questions like, hey, what happened next?
Hey?
And then what happened?
And what do you do? You sleepwalking and talking. But no, from all accounts, a few people have reached out and just gone, that sounded like they were like, that sounds like a fucking nightmare, but enjoyed the app. I think what we've done is created our Fly episode of Breaking Bad.
Yeah. I literally just watched that episode.
Yeah. Did it remind you of yourself? The content that we create?
Me obsessively trying to get the contaminant out of my life.
Yeah. Well, I more mean, do you know what I mean by the Fly episode?
Yeah.
The episode that is...
I just said I just watched it.
I don't know about our audience, man. Remember the people listen to this?
Nah, no one's listening. It's just you and me, baby.
What I mean by the Fly episode, to break it down,
is me falling asleep after having a third coffee of the day going, I'm sorry about it.
A show that traditionally follows a format and then one episode that deviates from that format. It's often divisive. Some people love it, some people hate it. Like the Fly episode in Breaking Bad where nothing happens except the boa is just hanging out in the lab trying to kill the fly.
Yep.
And everyone's like, what the like when it first came out, what the fuck is gonna, like, why isn't anything happening? And then it goes down as like a cult classic.
Turning the air pressure up.
Yeah, yeah. So we've made our Fly episode and now we can get back to regular scheduled programming.
We can indeed.
It's been weird for a couple of weeks. We had a guest. We had
a sickie.
And then it's a show that wasn't really a show in last week's episode. So it's good to be back with some good old fashioned talking about shows on free to air television.
Absolutely, and we do have a cracker for you this week. But before we get into it, if you did enjoy last week's episode, if you enjoy this episode and want to be involved in if you want to be in the POTAT patch.
Ooh, okay, dude.
If you want to be a spud with these cruds.
Yeah, okay, dude.
All right, so quit while you're ahead.
Let's end on Spud with Crud. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
Then you can leave a review on one of our very platforms. If you want to leave a comment on our YouTube videos and subscribe to our channel, keep up to date with everything OTAT. You can follow us on Instagram and leave a comment on one of our many posts that Tom seems to upload more than I do. He's completely taken control of our social media.
Well, someone's got to run the show.
This is true.
I did put something up this afternoon on the way to this here podcast tonight. Just the hang-ups. We'll call them hang-ups, which is still talking about last week's episode. A couple of hang-ups from last week.
Just a whole lot of baggage.
You just sitting here conceding that this show isn't ever not going to be about my removalist story.
This is just, I said it last week, we're transitioning into fucking Ray White, the podcast, rather than OTAT.
Yeah. If you got something good, stick with it, you know?
Call it good.
Never had something more that I'm for that Jake's not. We've never been more divided.
Mate, we really got to get on the same page about what we're going to talk about that out.
Jake just rolls his eyes every time I bring up anything. In regards to last week, he's like, it's over.
It's kind of just like a...
End now.
Well, I think it's...
Flogging a dead horse.
If like... Whilst we're a completely platonic relationship, or that's what we present, it's like a married couple that have been together for a long time, for 40 years, we'll say, instead of 40 episodes, and one partner's trying to spice things up in the bedroom, bring in different toys, different maneuvers, maybe read a little bit of Kama Sutra, and the other one's just lubricant. Like a little bit of lubricant,
spice things up,
bit of kerosene on the fire, and the other partner's just like, oh, all right, I guess I'll come along for the ride.
Yeah. The other partner just he's happy with missionary. That's you. You're a missionary operator.
Sure.
All right, free to air. Let's go. And I'm like, what if we did a fly episode?
What's going to take the least amount of effort? Still sounds like too much.
So I posted something on socials this afternoon.
Yes. Sorry to cut you off.
That's all right, man. It's our show, not my show.
Could have fooled me.
And I still haven't, if anyone's wondering, which everyone is, still haven't left a review. I still haven't left a review of the removalist after he sent me the 195.
Good man.
I decided against it and I decided to take the high road.
What's been the response so far on people going, no, you should dox. You should dox.
Yeah, most people are like, fuck that guy. But then for entertainment purposes, I think. But then people who are like actually close to me in my life are like, ooh, maybe look out for your safety. He knows your address.
Take the high road.
Yeah, clearly a bit of a cowboy and operates above the law or below it. Not within the confines of it.
Knows where you live is probably the first and foremost thing.
Just don't want bricks through the window. So it's been about 50-50. But I posted something on socials this afternoon that was, I basically put a call out for people to review the removalist himself, John. I'm not going to do it. You're not going to do it. But I thought let the pOTATers tell John what he thinks.
You found that loophole where you're not going to get done for defamation if someone else is your voice and you're just being the megaphone.
I'm hands off. Like I can't control what other people do, you know?
Yeah, you are just the voice of the community.
Yeah, so I said send us a review of him. You know what happened. You know the story. We'll read all of them out on air and we'll post the best one to the social page. Sorry, not the social page. We'll post the best one to the removalist page from me. So we had a couple of responses. First one, short and sweet. I posted this and then our good friend Anna, girlfriend of good friend Nick of the show, sent me a thing straight away saying, oh my God. And it was a screenshot of her conversation with her boyfriend saying, I'm going to leave a review. Can I leave a review of this removalist?
Do it.
And then all of a sudden, like she posted that before I posted my thing. So big coincidence there. She said, short and sweet, disappointed, but more, excuse me.
Here we go.
She said, disappointed, but more disappointed in myself for trusting another deadbeat to handle my junk. Short and sweet.
But, yeah, right. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So post that to his page and see if he can make sense of it.
It's all you really need. You don't need to be putting on too much fat for a review of someone of his quality.
Yeah, calling him a deadbeat, that's enough. And then also being self-deprecating and calling myself a deadbeat. We had another one. It works. I'm on 1% over here. Let's see if I can get this out.
I've got here. You can... Oh, no, I don't.
Didn't think so.
Play on.
This one's from Kick on Queen. 13 out of 10. Bloke was friendly and professional at all times. Not only would I encourage everyone to move house with him, but I'd encourage everyone to befriend him. Seems like a stellar individual, and I would trust him to be my doctor, to babysit my children, to pilot aeroplanes, and to be a kind-hearted caregiver for my elderly grandparents. Shut up, dude. You read, I'm on 1%.
No, go on. Keep going.
I'm actually going to
keep going. No, you're good.
So annoying, dude. Seems like a stellar individual, and I would trust him to be my doctor, to babysit my children, to pilot airplanes, and to be a kind-hearted caregiver for my elderly grandparents in their final days in the nursing home. I think he's great. I think he's a great judge of character. And if he's responsible in part to damage to your property, it's because he's subconsciously recognized that you're an awful
human being
and you deserve as much. He's truly my hero.
Who's going to find that more annoying? You're our listeners.
That sucks. I love that you have it up on your phone as well. You could easily read the whole thing without me being stressed about being on 1%.
Yeah, pulled a little sneaky one on you, man.
You've wool pulled, man. You've truly pulled the wool over my eyes. So thank you to Kick on Queens. We can post that to his page and just have every third word that we both said together in bold.
Yeah.
See if he gets
caps,
it.
Yeah. Just copy and paste it.
Caregiver.
Character.
If you would like to leave a review of the removalist from last week, let us know. At the moment, I think the front runner is probably Kick on Queens, so that'll be going on his removalist website soon with 1 star.
Exactly right. Or if you'd like to become a celebrity of the POTAT community, we'll call it the fry of the pOTATers.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, the Macca's salted fry of the pOTATers.
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking Remy's.
Okay, dude, Remy's chips.
If you want to be the par-fried, double-fried chip of the potato ball, much like our good friend Smoked Paprika. Actually, Smoked Paprika and chips would be pretty nice. Yeah.
How didn't we think of that?
Come on.
It's right there for us.
The smoked POTAT paprika.
Yeah, smoked paprika pOTATers.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're picking up what I'm putting down.
I think he's at the top of the heap at the moment for sure.
100%. You can leave a review like he did this week. Someone's got to take the king down from his throne because he's just dominating the threads at the moment.
Someone will one day.
This is in review. This is from part Australian, part Chinese. In response to episode 39. Stubborn/stubbing. What do I win?
Do you remember?
That was our code word for the week. We'll leave another one at the end of this episode. If you stay that long, then we'll.
Yeah, we've only had one person send that through, so Dad's clearly the only guy who made it to the end of the episode.
What do I win?
Remy's chips covered in smoked paprika.
Oh, that's on your paycheck, not mine.
Okay, dude. $4. I think I can handle it.
Oh, must be nice.
The way you turned your nose up at a
Can
bowl
spend
of fries.
$4 on a bowl of fries.
What did you want to give him? That's pretty cheap, dude. I was thinking like a DVD player or something.
All right, something that's just not in use in today's day and age.
Yeah, I'll find one from an op shop.
A DVD player.
Probably worth less than a. I'm just thinking electronics in general, and I'm stuck.
Why don't you buy him a gramophone?
Okay, dude, I'll buy him a gramophone.
You're calling your dad old.
A telegraph.
Giving him some dated piece of technology.
Yeah.
Buy him a new iPhone, mate. I've been seeing all sorts of ads about
You're
that.
the guy who didn't want to give him a bowl of chips. You roasting me about not giving him the new iPhone 8.
He's not my dad, dude.
I don't know. I've never met the guy. What did he say?
The episode of Naked and Alone, I think Naked and Afraid was, yeah.
Did he fuck that up?
Yeah.
That's all right.
Naked and Afraid sounds truly awful. Won't watch. But podcast rescued by Tom's storytelling. 5 stars again. The shakedown by the removalist John reminded me of my time in China. There was always the price of something, then the white price.
It's true. He lived it.
Getting shaken down for an extra $1 was a daily dilemma by the Asians. I enjoy the tangents the boys go off on. Keep up the good work. Papped out. Speaking of tangents, talking about these Asians trying to shake down just an honest Jimmy Barnes and K Sand, mate.
I'm just the white guy over here. What did I ever do wrong?
Come on.
I think I paid the white price the other day.
Did you?
With the removalist, yeah.
You don't think he would have shaken down ethnic or minority communities like that?
I paid the white price. I paid the gringo price.
Must be
you and me both, Dad.
Must be real hard, dude.
It's every day is a struggle. The hurdles I face day in, day out. But we keep going and we march forward.
That's it. We soldier on.
We soldier on because that's what it's all about, and the listeners need it.
We strive and we persevere no matter what obstacles or adversities we see in front of us. Whether it seems like that the last glimmer of hope is gone, we strive to try and get that success. Much like the subject of our show today, Australia's Sexiest Tradie.
I used to not be able to see when a Segway was coming, and now I see it from 5 miles away.
Yeah, all right, well, you give it a crack then.
No, it's great. It's great. And I'm not saying it's less seamless. I'm just saying I've recognized a pattern.
Way to
And I
break
love
the
it.
second wall, dude. I mean, fourth wall because it's video. I was
It
thinking
is video.
I'm thinking because it's mostly audio, it's the second wall. But
No. There's 4 walls, and I just broke it. Again, not a knock on your Segways. I love them. I just recognize when they're coming, and I get excited when they do. It's not a bad thing.
like the cameraman at Suncorp, you can see the Segway coming.
Yeah, exactly. Australia's Sexiest Tradie we found on 7+.
7+. You can watch 5 episodes of it now on their streaming service.
Which is all of it. I believe there's only 5, maybe 6 episodes.
Definitely wasn't picked up for season 2.
No, I don't see this on. And maybe it should, not because of its lack of quality did it get dropped, or maybe it's just not out yet. They may be in pre-production for season 2.
That's super optimistic of you, bro.
It's not what it sounds like, this show. You hear Australia's Sexiest Tradie and you go, oh, it's a dumb competition, a documentary, and they just try to find Australia's Sexiest Tradie.
Yeah.
It's not that at all.
No, you from the sounds of it, that's exactly what you'd think. Even reading the blurb, like initially I thought it was like real. I thought it was a real doco at first, but then
a math style. Yeah.
But it turns out it's more of a Summer Heights High, We Can Be Heroes type setup.
Yeah, it's written. It's a mockumentary. So there's, read out the title at the start that comes up on the screen.
Every year, a local radio station runs a competition to find Australia's Sexiest Tradie. In the week leading up to crown the winner, a documentary crew followed one of the finalists.
Does that sound familiar, pOTATers? To me, that sounds like the opening of We Can Be Heroes.
It does, yeah.
Every year there's an Australian of the Year competition. We send a camera crew out to follow the X amount of contestants.
It's a bit of a, it's kind of like a half-baked original concept. Like it's definitely taking, we'll say, very loose inspiration from We Can Be Heroes.
Yeah. Its vibe and concept is very We Can Be Heroes.
Australia's blankest blank.
Yes. But I would say to put a bow on this show, I would say it's We Can Be Heroes meets the UK Office.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got bits of that. Just I don't know if you call it mockumentary or if it's like comic entry.
Comic entry. Comic Con entry.
Yeah.
Have you paid your Comic Con entry?
No, come on, man.
I'm just trying to get Comic Con
I
entry.
paid $7,000 on my cosplay outfit. You're not going to let me in?
I want to see Alan Rickman at Hall H.
Sorry, fat man. It's Batman, okay? I'm not going to let you in.
It's definitely mockumentary because this is mockumentary undoubtedly and objectively.
Yeah.
We just stumbled across this, and we'll get into what we thought of the show in general, but again, when we went to put it on, we didn't know what the concept was, and we pressed play on one of the episodes, and we're like, it's the main character is swearing, saying fuck every 2 seconds. So this isn't like primetime Channel 7.
Not something you'd expect. This is probably like 11 o'clock Channel 7 sort of viewing.
Yeah, this could easily play on ABC at like 10 o'clock on a Wednesday.
Correct.
Around that old like Chases War and everything time slot.
Yes. Yeah.
Very much that vibe, right?
Whatever sort of comedy they can throw in for Wednesday night wacky.
Yeah, this would play on ABC 10 years ago before ABC went super liberal. They've always been very progressive, but like this show is a bit more Bogan Hunters, much smarter and like better writing, but more like that energy of there's sexism and it's a bit more edgy than something you'd find on ABC at the moment.
It starts out red hot.
Yeah. It comes out the gates and we were like, what have we stumbled across? This is incredible. And it is really good. So it follows Frankie.
Frankie played and the show's written and directed by Rick Donald.
Which is what gives it such a We Can Be Heroes Chris Lilley vibe, because he's clearly got one man's fingerprints all over it. He plays the main guy, he wrote it and he directed it. And he's really funny.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen this guy before in anything. What's his name? Rick
Donald.
Rick Donald. Look him up. He's only got 10K followers on Instagram. He's just an actor. He's relatively unknown. He's been in some, Packed to the Rafters and just some Australian television.
Yeah. Fairly unrecognizable.
Yeah, like we hadn't seen him before, but it felt like we were unearthing or stumbling across a young Aussie talent who's like, this isn't the most finely polished thing, but you can't deny this is like one of the best single performance funny Australian young dudes that you've seen in a long time. There's
some real potential in the show and in this guy. Like clearly that's why Channel 7 took a punt on him. Yeah. I'm sure he had like the pilot written.
Yeah.
And then took it to them, or even a short of it, and then was like, hey, what do you think of this? And they're like, we'll give you 5 episodes and $1 million to film it.
Yes. So let's get into what it's actually about. Frankie, like we said, he's a plumber. He lives with his parents. He's 33, very narcissistic, loves himself a lot.
Absolute moron.
And an absolute dead shit, yeah. He enters a competition on Heat FM. Wouldn't be surprised if this guy has worked in radio in the past because it is all very close to real life.
Regional radio.
Is like we both are in the industry now and have seen these sorts of contests happen. It's very close to home as far as realism goes.
It's run by like, I can't remember the host names, but it's basically like Dickie and Mugzo in the morning.
Yeah, Bagsy and Clarker.
Yeah.
I think that was it. There was a Bagsy in there for sure. And he is waiting by the phone for the whole day, just going, did I get it? They're announcing the finalists, the 10 finalists, and the whole episode is him just waiting by the phone, while he goes to his plumbing job and just gets chewed out by his boss. Yeah, the whole time
for being an incompetent fool on the job.
Yes,
insulting his clientele.
Yeah,
turning up the radio so he can listen to the contest while his customer is trying to put her teething baby to sleep.
See, how much were we laughing in that first episode?
First episode was pretty damn good for the budget of the show.
Yeah,
and considering what we were expecting, I thought it was fantastic.
I think the surprise element had a lot to do with it. We were both just like, oh my God, who is this guy? He's hilarious. His timing is great. And it's clearly written. He's inspired by some really good comedies.
Yeah.
Like it is pretty highbrow. Like it's not highbrow. I won't say that, but it's just good comedy. It's just well-written comedy.
Yeah, it does have those elements of The Office where a lot of it isn't based on phenomenal writing. It's more so genius improv in the moment.
Performance.
Yeah, the performance is fantastic. Like his dynamic between himself and his dad, who he lives with as a 33-year-old tradie. Yeah. Mum loves him to bits. Thinks he's God's gift to Earth.
Yeah,
and his dad's basically just like, don't fucking talk to me. I don't care about you.
That's probably the funniest dynamic in the whole show. Steve, I wish I had his name up.
Steve Lemarquin?
Yeah, Lemarquin or something. It's like French or something.
La la.
He's from Two Hands and one of those Aussie actors who have been around forever. Not to make the show about me or my personal experiences, but...
Go on. Feed me a tangent.
Went to Winton with this guy. It's not even a tangent, but we used to go out to Winton on film trips with uni. Steve was on a trip with me, and he's the sweetest guy in the world.
Didn't treat you like Terry on the show?
Shows how good of an actor he is, because Steve the dad just doesn't give a fuck about his kid.
Yeah, what's the opening line? He's like, hey dad, I'm on this radio show.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, fucking hopeless, mate. You're not going to get on there.
And Frankie just hangs on every word he says. His dad's his idol, and he just treats him like a piece of shit. He's just like, fuck off, kid.
Oh, yeah, right. You going for a beer? Yep. Oh, I'll come go on. Nah. Oh, all right. I'll see you later, Dad.
Oh, good. Yeah, you're thirsty. Yeah, no, I'm all. Yeah, you're obviously tired, Dad.
Real strong David Brent elements.
Yeah, it's very cringe humor.
It gets peak cringe when they decide to bring. So he becomes one of the finalists on the show. That's how it continues. He's the 10th finalist. And we're not going to retell the whole episode. We'll tell our highlights of episode 1.
Yeah.
We watched 2 episodes, and when the radio announcers call him up, he's like, yeah, hello, Frank speaking. And they're like, Frank, this is Dickie and Marto from the Heat.
Yeah.
And we wanted to call you as our 10th finalist on Australia's Sexiest Tradie. Yeah. If you could describe yourself in one word, Frank, what would it be?
Fuck you!
It's like, and he's like looking at his mum like, because his whole family's around the table waiting, and she's like mouthing different words, and he's like, fuck you.
And just hangs up on them. That's the end of the episode. It's like, okay, dude.
Well, that's halfway through the ep.
Oh, is that? I thought that was the end of it.
Then he goes to the meetup with the other finalists.
And just quickly, as they call him up to announce it at the family dinner, he gets the call and he's made it through, and the dad just goes, "Oh, fuck this," and just walks outside.
Hey, Mum, where's Dad? Oh, he's just getting a beer, love. And they just do the shot of the dad down on his like back deck, just
rolling a cigarette, just sitting outside.
Yeah.
The one thing his kid's ever been proud of doing for himself, and the dad's just like, "I'm not fucking here for it."
Nah.
His dad's actually just a bully. And he's like, "Oh, I wish Dad was here. Oh, where's Dad? He didn't hear it. Oh, he's just getting a beer. He's outside.
Yeah,
He
hates
still
it.
loves you."
Hates his son. You can see why. Absolute drop kick.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's some really like brutal, heavy relationships in here that are beyond the normal shit that you would see on 7 plus, and it's pretty deep, but everything is just so like everyone is so unlikable.
Yeah.
There's not you're not really rooting for Frankie.
There's not a lot of diversity in the characters either.
Yeah,
It's either they're kind of bumbling idiots or they're narcissistic idiots. Like there's not like a lot of diversity in the characters.
no. Well, I feel like I cut you off before. What happens after that in the rest of the episode?
Oh, basically he just goes to meet the other finalists at the Heat radio station, and it's just continuing on what you said. It just gets very cringe from there.
Yeah. I think the funniest scene in the whole show, and it might have just been because it was at the top end of it and it was still very fresh, but you follow him out to his job, and they go out to a house to fix the plumbing, and it's just him and his dead shit best mate.
Yeah. Who just adores him. He looks like a shorter, fatter, uglier version of Frank.
Yeah. So, and Frankie that's what I mean. He's not a nice guy. He bullies him around and he's like, "Get the fucking shit out of the van" and stuff. And it's like, okay, so you're just like an abhorrent douchebag. Like you are so unlikable. And then they go in to do the job and they're just both terrible at their job. And the wife is like, the mum who's there, who's pregnant.
The customer
is like, "Oh, you guys going to be done by 12?" Because the baby goes to bed about 12. So if it gets to that point, you're not done, tools down. And they spend half of the job just standing up in the driveway talking to the camera.
He's just there's one point where like his mate is trying to actually, like his co-worker is trying to actually work on the issue with the plumbing.
Yeah.
Because they're plumber tradies, and Frank's just lying down on the veranda, just like with the radio on his chest, just going, "I can't wait to be famous, man."
Yeah, he's going, "I think I've got a stiffy."
That's right.
He's like, what do you mean? He's like, "I'm just thinking of the customer's tits upstairs." I feel like we're making it sound much worse than it is. It's not that bad, and we're not good at retelling it.
Yeah, look, this is
It's all out of context at the moment.
This is the hot water we get into when we review a comedy show, because we just want to tell you our favorite parts of the show.
And it's never going to come across as funny with two dickheads talking about it.
It's no point retelling it, but it's definitely a show that started off as we said, red hot. Came out of the gates super fast, and we were both like, okay, we've just found a gem.
Yeah.
How is he not more popular?
Yeah.
You can see why it's only 5 episodes and it hasn't been picked up for a second season, because it drops off pretty quickly.
Yeah. We were losing it in episode 1, and then and we were like, fuck, we should watch another one. They're only 24 minutes long. Like, it's very easy to consume. We get to maybe halfway through episode 2 and we're like, okay.
Yeah.
This is
just clock watching.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty sick of this guy. And it's pretty hard to watch on screen for more than an hour.
We weren't the only ones either. Of the 2 reviews left on IMDb, firstly, it's strange. It's got 6 stars out of 10 on IMDb, but the 2 reviews are 3 out of 10 and 1 out of 10. So first one is, "It started so well." Oh, these are both from
The same person.
These are both from the past week.
Yeah, I think it's super fresh. Like, it was definitely 2021.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah.
It is 2021.
So jump on World's Sexiest Tradie before it blows up.
Yeah.
Because it will.
So it started so well. The first 2.5 episodes were great, and then not a single laugh as we finished episode 5. Frankie is a narcissist, sexist, verbally and emotionally abusive guy, and is definitely not the type we would be encouraging or laughing at. Such a shame because this started so well. And then the other comment is, "Don't bother. What a ridiculous show. Not funny at all. I'd rather watch paint dry." All right, well,
okay.
I think it's more accurate to the first one, where it does start out so well.
I think it's funny that she pretty much pinpointed the like 2.5 episodes is pretty perfect.
Yep.
Oh, it's no, sorry, for us it was 1.5.
Yes.
Pretty much halfway through the first one, we were like, okay, dude.
Yeah. Because it basically goes, he starts on his job, he fucks around on his job, doesn't really want to be there, sees himself as God's gift to women and the earth.
Yeah.
Finally,
He idolizes Channing Tatum. He wants to be a famous actor.
yeah.
But he's stuck in a plumbing job.
When he's picked as like a finalist, they have like this, it's very much a David Brent character. He's like, I want to make it all about me.
Yeah.
And he's with the 9 other finalists at the radio station. They've all got to go around the circle and be like, about me. And other people are like, oh, g'day, I'm Dale. I'm a landscaper.
Yeah. Got bullied into this.
Or me misso put me on, so she's going to get it tonight, blah, blah, blah. And then he's just like, oh, g'day, yeah, I'm Frank. Yeah, I think this has always been a dream for me. I don't know if you've heard of him, but my hero's Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
He's hot, he can dance, he's shredded, like he can sing, he can act.
And then the guy after him is just like, I don't really want to like take over the world like this fucking guy.
Yeah.
And everyone laughs at him. And it's like, oh, dude.
You're blowing this competition that, by the way, they mentioned is just a $5,000 prize at the end.
Everyone's taking the piss out of it except him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see this as like you getting an Oscar.
Yeah. It's very Brenty in that, like, when you compare Brent to the UK office boss to the American office boss, Brent is, and most people in the show are just so unlikable. Like, you don't root for Brent at all.
Yeah.
He had shades of light, and hopefully Frankie does later in the show as well. But like what the office does well is there's still Tim in the show, and there's still likable people in there where you can root for them.
There's a balance. Doesn't matter. Like, I suppose the office, there's a couple of different main characters. David Brent's obviously the focus of it, but then you've got Tim as well, as like who takes up 40% of the screen time.
Yeah. Someone for the audience to identify with.
Correct.
And see the show through.
Whereas this, it doesn't really have a lot of, I said it before, I'll say it again, diversity in the characters.
No.
It's pretty skin deep on them just being gronks.
Yeah, everyone is awful. He breaks up with his girlfriend at the end of the first episode, his long-term girlfriend who loves him so much. Just because she's like, is it because you're like getting famous now or what?
Yeah, kind of, a bit, yeah.
And he literally says to her, well, like, honestly, we've stayed together way longer than I thought we would. So, like, you should take that as a win that I didn't dump you before now.
Yeah, and she just like compromise. She's trying to compromise. Like, you can tell people we've broken up. We can stay together in secret.
Yeah. So she's pathetic as well.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any self-pride. She's not like, fuck you, and walks off.
Yeah, his mum, his best mate, and his girlfriend all pander to him. His dad and his boss just see him as fuckwits.
Yeah. And there was a real opportunity because he's got his dad who hates him, just hates his guts, and is an awful, heartless guy. And he's doing this whole thing to impress his dad, to win over his father, who never will be won over. And then he's got a boss who takes him to work, and he actually kind of sits him down a couple of times, and he's like, mate, you're being a fucking useless cunt. Like, can you, like, trying to talk some sense into him, being like, it's a good trade. Do you want to be a plumber? And there's an opportunity there for him to be like the father figure and actually be a good role model in his life. But then even the boss is like, oh, you could like get on the show and then like rep the business and like wear the shirt. And it's like, oh, okay, so now you're just self-serving as well and you don't care about him.
Yeah.
There's no one in his corner.
Which provides a little bit of element, but they could have like balanced that out with like, I'm ready to fucking fire you. You are so incompetent.
Yeah. And it becomes a little less believable because Frankie just keeps fucking up, and he's awful at his job, and he takes an hour off lunch break to go and get his ass waxed to go
For a photo shoot.
Yeah, for a photo shoot, and he just keeps pulling the wool over his boss's eyes, and the boss, at some point would just be like, "Get the fuck out,
we're done here."
Yeah, we're done here. I'm done with you. But it's like it's a TV show, so he has to not fire him.
Yep. Have you ever met anyone like Frank?
He didn't bring anyone directly to mind. You might have a few people in mind.
I don't really have, same thing. I don't have anyone who springs to mind straight away, but I see elements of Frank in a lot of people, in some people that I've met in the past.
Yeah.
Like that mentality where you see it in a lot of like, obviously you've got to have a certain level of confidence and sometimes arrogance to be in performance.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people I've met throughout like different creative jobs I've done, I've met people who are like, well, look, as an actor, I just like to perceive things differently. As a model, and someone who's a thespian, I tend to just see things in like a different light to everyone else. And very much like Frank, who's like, yeah, well, look, as a bloke who's just going to take the world by storm,
Yeah.
I'm just different to you, mate.
Yeah, it's the people who are too good. And as you said that, I thought of like 3 more people.
Yep.
I definitely, once given context, yeah, I've met Frankie before. It's the people who are better than the job that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're like, well, yeah, I don't give a fuck about what I'm doing now because I'm going to take over the world at some point.
It's not just even like the better than the job that they're in. Kind of that, but it's also I'm better than everyone else, and I get this way more than anyone else. Like I was born to do this. It's almost I call it main character syndrome.
Yeah,
where all the person thinks is like, yeah, I'm the main character in the movie, and everyone else is just an extra.
Yeah, life is my narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you guys are all extras.
Yeah,
yeah. No, I've definitely met a few Frankies in my time. Unbearable to be around. This is very heightened, obviously. I've seen elements of him in people. If it's a TV show and it's a comedy, so he's obviously heightened to the nth degree.
Yeah. There's not people who are that obliviously arrogant in real life, or if they are, it's very rare.
Yeah, he's. I was saying this before. The show would work really well even if it followed multiple tradies and there were some other people there to bounce off. Like We Can Be Heroes worked really well because so did Summer Heights High, because there's 5 or 6 different characters and you spend time with each one. Think of any spin-off that Chris Lilley's ever done.
Yeah.
Jamae sucked. Jonah sucked.
That's what they should have done, is they should have had 3 tradies they followed.
Yep.
It should have been, obviously, Frankie's a great character. You've got him as the main one to just laugh at and think he's an ignorant moron.
Yeah.
There could have been one who's basically like just shouldn't be there to begin with. He's just like, oh, I don't know. Oh, I'm just picking his nose and spitting and shit.
Yeah. They could have, exactly right. It should have been a couple of different ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he would be really funny in smaller doses. He's a really funny character, but to have him again and again and again, it gets. I'm gonna watch the rest of it because I can't, just out of like respect for fucking Rick. What's his name? Rick Dalton or something.
Yeah, something like that.
What's Rick Dalton from?
Great question, but this man's name is Rick Donald.
Rick Donald.
You were so close.
Can you look up Rick Dalton?
Sure.
He's from like True Detective or something like that.
Oh, Rick Dalton is Leo DiCaprio's character in Once Upon a Time.
Yep, I knew that. In the back of my mind, I knew that.
By the way, shout out to Channel 7 as well, because on top of this, they've also just gotten Once Upon a Time in Hollywood on their streaming services. I didn't think they had the pull like that.
Yeah. Big Tarantino coming through. It was an okay film that I can't imagine sitting through ads for.
Yeah, that's
like
the thing.
It's 3 hours long.
It's a 2.5 hour flick, and then you got to add 40 minutes of ads on top of that. Are you really sitting there waiting for the final payoff at the end?
Because there is a final payoff, but the fucking rest of the film was a slog when nothing happens.
I loved it. Like,
really?
I thought it was a really good movie when I first saw it. Maybe I need to watch it again. It is a very slow pace.
Yeah, it's a hangout movie. It's like not a whole lot happens. It's like Brad Pitt. It's like the sexiest people in the world hanging out and doing nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the most
part. With a couple
there.
of highlight clips, fucking Brad Pitt bashing up Bruce Lee.
Yeah. That's what you think of. You think of the end with the flamethrower.
Yep. Him on acid.
Yeah. You forget about Rick and you forget about Brad and Leo just sitting down watching telly and just hanging out, and Margot just going to the movies.
Yeah.
She did not need to be in that film.
No, completely unnecessary. The fact, the biggest thing hyping up that movie was the fact that they were, what was it? She was not Cheryl. Was it Cheryl Stone?
Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone. Sorry. Yeah. The whole thing was that she was playing Sharon Stone in this like alternate universe where Charles Manson didn't kill her.
Yeah, and it's like you watch the film and she could have been anyone. It didn't matter that she was Sharon Stone. They just slapped that name on her.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And she was only in there for Tarantino to look at her feet.
Yes.
Sorry to say, but...
I mean, I can't hate the player.
Yeah, I mean, if you got a foot fetish, hire the hottest woman in the world and fucking look at her feet and call yourself an auteur director so you get away with it.
Pretty much. Speaking of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, we're going on tangents upon tangents here. But the guy who plays Charles Manson in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He also plays Charles Manson in Mindhunter on a streaming service that will remain nameless.
Yep.
His name is... They've just got Charles Manson in here, but he's an Aussie guy. Oh, Damon Harriman.
Show me.
This guy?
Yep, I'm with you.
We'll put up a photo of him on the video.
I'm with you. Yep.
Damon Harriman. So he's an Aussie actor.
What else is he in?
I was watching, we were just talking about Breaking Bad before. He's in Breaking Bad as the tweaker who's yelling Tucker. Tucker! Tucker! Get in here right now, Tucker! When Jesse and Mike go to get the stolen blue meth, and Jesse starts digging a hole outside the front of the house.
That's what I was picturing.
Yeah. The guy with the shotgun that Jesse knocks out with a bong.
Yeah.
That's
Damon Harriman.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah, he's
cool actor.
Yeah. He wasn't in like 1917 or anything, was he?
I haven't seen 1917 to be honest.
Yeah, no, he's good. I've seen him in a few things.
Yeah.
There we go, movies and TV shows.
Just going to give a shout out to any Aussie artist we see just on their grind.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I'm going to watch the rest of this just for like I don't know how old he is in real life, but Frankie is 33 in the show and he lives with his parents and he's pathetic. But just for this guy to pop up who's clearly like hilarious and like has a lot of talent, like you just have to, when you unearth someone like that, it's like, you just got to see it through.
100%. I mean, we could look up what Rick Donald's age is right now.
Rick, where
it's 35.
Okay, yeah. I guarantee he like comes from a YouTube. He seems like he would be one of those who are the Bondi hipsters guys. Like he'd come from that circle, you know.
Yeah, or like Auntie Donna.
Yeah,
like a dude who studied acting or film and television at uni.
Yeah, really funny. The only exposure that I've seen about this show at all, and it should have more, is Mick Malloy. Was talking about it on Triple M.
Gave it the Bogan endorsement.
Yeah, and he did the same as
really funny show.
Yeah, really funny show.
Really funny show.
Yeah, stumbled across this last night on 7 mate.
What?
and Rick posted it on his Instagram, and he's like, again, to his 10K followers.
Oh, Rick did. Sorry,
I said Rick. Yeah,
Rick Malloy. It's Mick's son.
Yeah, right. No, Rick posted Mick, and he's like, thanks for the shout out, Mick. So good.
Yeah, really funny show.
Yeah, this is Triple M's drive out.
I want to perfect that Mick Malloy.
It's so hard, dude. It's so like back of the throaty.
It's a baritone Kermit.
Yeah, it sounds like he's always got something stuck in the back of his throat.
Oh yeah, I was on Crackerjack.
That's pretty close.
Yeah. There's room for improvement there anyway.
Keep trying, dude. But yeah, no, Rick, if you're listening, because you will, we'll shout you out and get the attention of you, sir, and get you on the podcast eventually.
Yeah, I mean, just wait until you hear what our reviews are at the very end of this. Speaking of which,
look, I love it. I honestly, I can't go. I'm gonna see it through. What does Australia's Sexiest Tradie get? For potential and for originality and for giving it a fucking crack, it gets 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, it gets 7 7 bikini wax G-strings out of 10.
You've literally, yeah. No,
you were going to say the exact same
I was going to
thing.
say, so I would definitely, agree with you that it gets 7 waxed arseholes out of 10.
Nice, yeah. There's literally there's a scene right out of 40-Year-Old Virgin, which is obviously the 40-Year-Old Virgin chest waxing scene, iconic. It's so clear where he gets his inspiration from because it's teeters between homage and just ripping off. But he goes and gets his ass waxed for a photo shoot, and he's lying there with obviously a real, what do you call them, waxers? Chinese wax lady.
A beauty clinician.
Yeah. So, and she's clearly not an actor because she's doing it properly. And he's just lying there and he's going, Brad Pitt. Like literally like
Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt. Yeah.
Steve Carell.
Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah. So I mean, shout out for having good taste. It's not ripping off, it's homage.
Yes, it's called inspiration.
It's called inspiration, yeah.
What do they say? Plagiarism is the most sincerest form of
flattery. Yeah. And like Tarantino's made a whole career off it.
Look at that. We're out here finishing each other's
sandwiches. Delicious.
7 out of 10. Yeah.
7 out of 10. Was yours 7 as well? Yeah. I think it's a fair rating. I think you should definitely go and check it out, even if it's just for like, let us know how you go with it and if you keep going all the way through. There's only 5 episodes. I'm going to watch the rest. I enjoyed what I saw.
Yeah.
I enjoyed what I saw.
I think on a completely random tangent, I just realised what we can get part Australian, part Chinese for getting the keyword correct.
Arsehole wax.
I wish.
Pay to see it.
Wish I could be the one to give it. No,
That'd be nice.
Get him a little bottle of smoked paprika, mate.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep.
Maybe I'll get smoked paprika, a little bottle of smoked pack.
Maybe we tailor it depending on what the alias is of our listeners. Even though his is part Australian, part Chinese.
Are you sure you're okay with dropping that kind of coin, dude?
What? Yeah. All right. A bottle of smoked paprika probably costs as much as the bowl of chips.
Okay.
$4.
I'll get the chips. You get the paprika.
Deal.
All right, done. Yes, sir. We'll split the profits and be millionaires.
What do we pick for this week?
What do you mean?
For a code word.
Oh, for a code word. Let's go with leopard print undies. Sorry.
Banana hammock.
Yeah, banana hammock.
Because it's literally banana DTs that he's wearing.
Yeah, he gets them on for the photo shoot. If you like the UK office, if you like We Can Be Heroes or Summer Heights High, check this out. It is genuinely good. You've probably never seen the guy before, and it's worth knowing that he's at least out there and is going to do something in the future.
Australia's Sexiest Tradie, all 5 episodes available on 7+. If you have made it this far into the episode, we'd like to say thank you for joining us on the air tonight. He's been Tom.
We never did that. That has been Jacob. If you're wondering who we were for an hour.
Yep. If you weren't listening to the first 39 episodes.
They never introduced themselves.
But yeah, thanks again for joining us. If you did enjoy it, share it with a mate or a colleague, family member, whoever it may be. Give it a like on Instagram, subscribe on the YouTube, and we will see you
next week. Spam Rick Donald on Instagram at OTAT Watch Your Show. We're going to get him on.
Get him, boys.
You're doing.